Today I'm going to be walking you through how I edited some of my favorite images from the BMW Championship this past summer, specifically these two fantastic images from Rory McIlroy, and how we can transform them from flat images to something special that I can put on my portfolio. Alright, first image we have number one. You could see the waves of crowds there at the BMW Championship, and Rory, this is just after his follow through, and we were able to capture a nice explosion of grass. Fortunately there's no ball, but I still think it's able to capture the atmosphere and the intensity that was at this tournament, and all the fans just flocking to Rory every time he would hit a ball. And we got lucky that we were on the opposite side and we were able to get his face, because the face is the most important part about this photo. You can see him there. Without the face, you really couldn't tell who was hitting that ball. So now let's transform this into the best image we can possibly do. The first thing I'm going to do is just straighten this out and crop it a bit. My workflow usually goes from cropping and straightening it out, and then I just work from top down in Lightroom Classic, color correcting, and then finally color grading it to the best of my ability. I think we're going to leave this kind of wide because I like all the fans in the atmosphere, and we want the more fans the better. I think it better displays the story we are trying to tell. Let's see if we can white balance this. Remember when I first had trouble, as you can see here, white balance not getting the best of the colors, so we're going to just have to try to maneuver this slightly on our own. A little too much space. One of the tougher images to white balance because you got a lot of the green around them and a lot of blue, and those two especially are the hardest colors to get perfect, but I think we're in a decent spot to start actually toning him. And I'm going to go through basic corrections at first, so it won't look like anything special, but then as soon as I start bringing out masks to solo him and isolate him from the background, that's when we'll see the biggest difference in the beginning to end photos. Right now I'm just trying to, I was very well exposed in camera, which was good. It's just, you could see under his hat specifically, a little bit of those shadows we're just trying to bring up. And really the biggest thing, especially with images like this, when you have just a bunch of isolating subjects and a bunch of harsh light, it was middle of the day, so you have to work with your conditions. It's kind of just playing around, messing around. You have a general sense of you want highlights, down, shadows up, and fix the exposure and up this contrast a bit, but it's just about messing around with the sliders until you really get happy, until you can actually get into the mask area of this image. As I mentioned before, a lot of green, so we don't want this to play a major role. I don't want it to be looking like we're bumping up our saturation completely, so I think I'm just going to tone it down so I get more of the focus on him. And down here, I might be tempted to sharpen this up a little bit because you can see just a tad soft, especially when you zoom into the 200%. Nobody's ever getting pixel peep that hard, but when I do it, I know it's just maybe a little bit soft, but probably not going to sharpen it here. Going to wait until the mask so I don't sharpen the rest of the people, because I really want the focus to be on just this image of Roy and not necessarily the crowd. And see, usually the solo masking of the subject works, but with so many people, Lightroom's just having a tough time, so we're going to have to do this manually. See, the biggest thing is just seeing where you started that image and now where you are. You can tell we're slowly starting to we got the white balance right, the warm summer day, and now we're just trying to dial in him specifically, getting the focus directly on him. Nice thing is we can just slightly denoise it, because you can ISO 500 is not that high, but with all the fans and stuff happening around them, you automatically pick up a little bit of that chromatic aberrations from all the colors in this image. So just nothing too big, and you probably won't even be able to notice it on this computer screen on the video, but just small little details that could help. We can just add a brush too. Be a little bit more. So a little bit more focus. See, what the tough part is, this guy right here that we're just gonna have to just take out a little bit from this extra light by just brushing him out of the original mask. Just get Roy a little bit more separated from his background. This brush, we're just adding it back into the mask. That just makes it slightly darker around them, so you can get a little bit more pop and separation. Slightly bringing him out. Now let's just highlight this little thing right here. You can see it's not doing a ton, but it's at least giving us a slightly more noticeable glass explosion, which is kind of a big part of this image that separates it from any other normal image of him golfing. Actually just gonna don't think it needs to be on his hands because his hands are already kind of hot, so kind of want these. I don't know what that thing is. Let's see. I did not notice this little thing here to begin, so what we'll do is just heal this red part. Boom. Can't even tell it was there, and now don't even have that red part. So before, after, before, after. And we're gonna do one more thing. We're just gonna extend this down so you can. Fine-tuning this mask up here. seem like a big deal, and probably isn't, but just gets the grass particles to be a little bit more pronounced, which is exactly what we want. For the after, I think we're looking pretty good. We can crop in just the hair. And perfect. So we went from this to this, and it might just be slight subtle changes you notice, but we just took the focus off of kind of people in the background and the bright green grass and color corrected, and then made it the focus primarily on Rory, the subject, and drawing the attention. And we are able to still show the fantastic crowds there that day.